Okay, so what I want to do right now is I want to take up quiz number 1 for quadratics part 2. Here's our first set of questions, expand and simplify. So remember, to expand and simplify, we have to take each part of the bracket to multiply to each part of the other bracket. So that means x times x is x squared, x times 5 is 5x, negative 3 times x, negative 3x, and then minus 15. And then we collect like terms, and we end up with x squared plus 2x minus 15. In the second part, we have a little bit more work to do because of that 3. So first we multiply the 3 into the bracket. So 3x squared minus 3. And then we remember that there's brackets around that still, because that still has to apply to x plus 2. And now we expand that. So 3x squared times x is 3x cubed plus 6x squared minus 3x minus 6. And we try to collect like terms, but there's nothing, so we leave it at that. The next one, we have to do the first part, so x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 6. And then the second set of brackets is 2x, so we have a plus there. And then 2x squared plus 8x minus x minus 4. And now we have to collect like terms. So x squared and 2x squared is 3x squared. All these x's collect to 8x, and the 6 and the 4 collect to minus 10. Okay, let's look at the last one. So first we have to multiply the 2 in. So 2x minus 2, put that in a bracket because it still has to apply to x plus 1. And then a lot of you wanted to multiply the negative 2 in, so that's what we're doing. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x, negative 2 times negative 2 is plus 4, and I have my second bracket. And now remember, because you multiplied that negative 2 in, the sign in between is a plus. Okay? And now we proceed like the first one. So multiply out the first two brackets. So 2x squared plus 2x minus 2x minus 2, and then plus negative 2x squared minus 4x plus 4x plus 8. And then we collect. So that cancels out. The x squareds cancel out. The x's, the 2x minus 2x is going to cancel out, and the minus 4 plus 4 is going to cancel out. So all that stuff's gone, and all we're left with is 6. So that simplifies a lot. Okay, let's look at the next one. Factor. Okay, so this is the hardest part. People had trouble with this one, so make sure that you look at this closely. So the first one is just a common factor of 3, because 3 divides both of them. So we're left with x minus 4. That's it. In the second one, we have a few common factors. We have a factor of 3, we have some h's, and we have some r's. Well, first we take out the 3. Then there's 2 h's at least in each term, so I can take out h squared. And there's 3 r's at least in each term, so I can take out r cubed. And now what's left, in the first part, I only have 1, because I've taken out the 2, I've taken out the h squared, I've taken out the r cubed. Then I have minus 4hr, and I have plus 5 h squared r squared, because that's what's left. And that's it. In the next one, it's a simple trinomial, so I have to set up these two brackets. And remember, we're looking for things that add to 12 and multiply to 20. So that would have to be 2 and 10. Okay? Next one, again, simple trinomial. So we have a bracket times a bracket. And we know that the things that start these brackets have to be x's, because I need my x squared. And now I need two things that multiply to 12 but add to negative 7. So they multiply to a positive, add to a negative. That tells us that they're both negative. So two numbers that multiply to positive 12 add to negative 7, negative 3, negative 4. Okay, next one, x squared plus 3x minus 28. Again, simple trinomial, so I'll start with my x's. And now I need two things that multiply to negative 28. That tells me one of them is positive, one of them is negative. And multiply to 28, that's 7 times 4. And 7 is the bigger one, and they add to positive 3, so that means it has to be plus 7 minus 4. And you can double check that if you need to. Okay? Next part here, it's not a simple trinomial. So since it's not a simple trinomial, I have to look if there's a common factor. Well, I can take out a 5. So if I take out a 5, what's left? X squared plus 5x minus 6. And now I have a simple trinomial. And that simple trinomial starts with x plus and x minus, because I have to multiply to negative. And things that multiply to negative 6 and add to 5, has to be positive 6 and negative 1. Okay, so that's factoring. If you could factor the expression x squared plus kx plus 6, and this was a big problem for many people, what are the possible values that k could have? Well, I know in factoring, two things have to multiply to 6 and add to k. So it says what are the possible values of k? So if they have to multiply to 6, one option is it could be 1 times 6. So 1 times 6 add to 7, which means a possible value of k is 7. Instead of 1 and 6, it could also be 2 and 3. Those add to 5. It could also be negative 1 and negative 6. They multiply to 6, add to negative 7. And also negative 2 times negative 3 multiplies to 6, adds to negative 5. So that means as long as k is one of these values, I'll be able to factor. Because if k is one of those values, then I'll be able to find things that multiply to 6 and add to k. When I say plus or minus 5, this sign right here just literally means it's either plus 5 or minus 5. Okay? Okay, so next one, if I could factor x squared plus 10x plus p, what are the two possible values of p? Well, they have to add to 10, multiply to p. So two things that add to 10 are 1 and 9. So that means that p could be 9 because 1 and 9 multiply to 9. Or they could be 2 and 8. Then p would be 16 because 2 times 8 is 16. They could also be 3 and 7 where p would be 21. 4 and 6, p would be 24. So there's a lot more of those. That's why we first look for things that multiply to the last number, and then we find their sum. Okay? So these are just two examples. Could be many more. Alright, so consider the rectangular shape on the right. It's not really a rectangle. Express and simplify the area. So what we're going to do is we're going to split them up. We're going to call this area 1 and area 2. Okay, so area 1, the area is length times width, so x times x, which is x squared. Area 2, it's going to be x minus 1, x plus 2, because that's the length and the width. Now we expand. So x times x is x squared, plus 2x, minus x, minus 2, and simplify. So x squared plus x minus 2. Now the total area would have to be the sum of the two. So x squared, and then x squared plus x minus 2. And then I can simplify that, and I get 2x squared plus x minus 2. So then the next question is calculate the area of x is 2. Well, I already have an expression. The expression is the area is 2x squared plus x minus 2. And now all I want to do is sub the 2 in for my x's. So I'll have 2 times 2 squared plus 2 minus 2. And I start simplifying. That's 2 times 4 plus 2 minus 2, which means 2 times 8 plus 2 minus 2, which means the area is 8. And even more, because we have units here, I have units, and it's 8 meters squared. That's the area of the blue shape. Okay?